Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know that it's been a really long time since my last tutorial, but I'm finally back and I recorded this brown smoky eye look using the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance Palette. So if you guys want to know how to get this look, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I went ahead and did my brows off camera, but we are going to jump right into the eyes. I am using the Benefit Air Patrol eyeshadow primer to prime my lids. I'm just going to pat that in all over my lids and brow bone using my fingers. Now going into the new Anastasia Modern Renaissance Palette, which I have been loving, I'm first going to take the shade Tempera and apply that all over the lid and brow bone to set that primer, and I'm using a Real Techniques setting brush. This will just help you be able to have a nice base where you can blend your eyeshadows over. Then I'm taking the shade Burnt Orange and I'm using a Morphe M441 brush just to blend that into my crease as a transition shade. I'm then going to take the shade Realgar and apply it in my crease as well using that same Morphe M441 brush. And this is just to add some more depth and make the crease a little bit warmer. And then I'm going to go in with the shade Cyprus Umber, and I'm going to pack that on my lids using a Sigma E55 brush. And then after you pack it on the lid, you really want to blend it into the crease. So I'm just taking that same Morphe M441 brush with just a little bit more product and blending that into the crease. And then just to add just a little bit of shimmer, I'm taking the shade Antique Bronze and applying that over the lid with a Luxie 223 brush. And then I'm just going to prep my lashes for falsies, so I'm applying my Benefit Rollerlash mascara, which is one of my favorites. And then for lashes today, I'm going to be using my Nubounsom Bella mink lashes, which are one of my favorites, especially for smoky eyes or looks that I'm not using a wing liner because they're super full and dramatic. And now for the face, I'm first going to go in and prime my skin using the Laura Mercier foundation primer. I think that this is just the regular one. I got it as a sample from Sephora. And I like it. I'm not really sure if I love it yet, but I do like it. And then for foundation, I'm mixing my L'Oreal True Match in the shade W6 and the True Match Lumi in the shade W5. And then I'm just going to pounce that into my skin using a damp beauty blender. And now to contour, I am taking the shade Light Sculpt from the Anastasia Light Cream Contour Kit, and I'm using a Luxie 620 brush, and I'm just going to apply that contour shade, you know, in the hollows of my cheeks, around the temples of my forehead, along my jawline, and down the bridge of my nose. And then I just like to blend in the contour shade around my nose with my fingers. And then for the rest of my face, I'm using my Sigma F57 brush to blend that contour shade in. And then to highlight and conceal, I'm going to take the shades Neutral and Banana from that same Anastasia contour kit and apply that with my Morphe S4 brush. And I'm just going to apply that underneath my eyes, on the center of my chin, down the bridge of my nose, on my cupid's bow, and a little bit on the center of my forehead. I really like the Anastasia Cream Contour Kit because it's a little bit of a thicker consistency so that it keeps the pigmentation and it doesn't slip and slide around your face. But the only thing is that because it's a little bit thicker, sometimes it gets a little bit harder for me to blend, so I'm just adding a little bit of my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade Light just to my under eye area so that it blends easier, kind of thins it out, and so that it doesn't crease as much. And then just going to blend that into my face using my Sigma 3D HD Kabuki brush. And I'm just going to really pat it into the skin. And after it's mostly all blended out, I'd like to take my damp beauty blender and kind of blend it in some more. I like using the beauty blender underneath the eyes as like a finishing blend because it'll take off away the excess product, and I feel like it makes it so that you don't get as much product like directly underneath your eyes to minimize the creasing. I'm then just going to bake my under eye area using my Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I'm applying this with my Real Technique sponge. And then to set the rest of my face, I'm just going to go in with my Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation Powder in the shade 220. And I'm applying that with a My Kit Co 0.8 large powder brush. And then afterwards we're going to go into our powder contour. So I'm using the Anastasia Powder Contour Kit in the shade Light to Medium. And I just mixed all three of the contour shades and applying it with a Morphe M143 large fan brush just to give me that all over kind of bronze, sun-kissed look. And then to add some more depth, I'm going in with my Benefit Hoola Bronzer, and I'm using my Sigma F40 brush, and I'm just going to add some of that into the places where I really want contour, like the hollows of my cheeks, and then around my temples and my chin and jawline. And then to clean up my contour line, I'm taking some more of that Laura Mercier translucent powder using my Real Technique sponge. And then I'm just going to take the shades Vanilla and Banana from the Anastasia Contour Kit, and I'm using a Sigma F37 brush just to kind of dust away the excess powder but also set it and make it a little bit brighter at the same time. I'm then just going to take my Benefit Hoola powder and contour my nose. I'm using a Luxie 207, I think it's a medium angled brush. And then to clean up my nose contour, I am taking the Anastasia Banana Powder and using a Beauty Junkies mini angled kabuki brush. And then I'm just going to dust off the excess powder beard we got going on and set the rest of the high points of my face. And then to finish off the eyes, I'm taking the burnt orange shade from the Modern Renaissance Palette and smudging that underneath my lower lash line with a Morphe M433 brush. And then I'm going to take that Cyprus umber shade, and using a flat shader brush, I'm just going to tightline my lower lash line. And lastly, I'm going to take the shade Primavera, and I'm just going to pack that on the inner corner as a highlight using a pencil brush. And I'm also going to dust a little bit underneath the brow bone to highlight. And then for blush, I am taking my Urban Decay Afterglow Afterglow blush in the shade Video and applying it with my Luxie 520 tapered face brush. And then for my highlight, I'm first going to take the Marc Jacobs Glow Stick in the shade Spotlight. This is a super beautiful cream highlight, and I'm just going to apply that with my fingers as a base for my powder highlighter. And then using the new Anastasia Sun Dipped Glow Kit, I'm taking the shade Summer and applying that as powder highlight with the My Kit Co Nude Collection N4 brush. And then to finish off the look, I'm taking the new Anastasia lip gloss in the shade Caramel, and this is from her summer lip gloss set. And lastly, I'm just going to set my whole face using my Pixi Makeup Fixing Mist, and that is the completed look. So thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next video.
Going with the gut, never had a doubt, felt like this is just a must. Put me in perspective, I'm the deepest in the cut. Everybody tuning in, but this is just for us now. We know I ain't ballin' yet, hoes wanna holler, oh no,